We're going to do this fast, guys. So if you want to win something, move in quickly, and I'll close it down if I like you. You get it. 30,000. Luke, anything? Done. 30,000. Greg Stevens. Fantastic.
Molo Sanbonani, hello, how's it? Shalom, good evening. Welcome to the Big Daddy Liberty Show, a special episode. I'm here in Cape Town, a more zhuzhy and la-di-da type venue that I usually am at. But what I'm covering today is an important issue, one which I think represents the future of South Africa and really that faith, flag, family and freedom type South African. What am I talking about? Well, here on the BDL Show, we've had a conversation in the past about cryptocurrencies, decentralized finance, and of course, non-fungible tokens. Does this sound like gobbledygook? Well, I'm going to put a little window over here that will link you to some episodes that we've done in the past on this, but don't fret, we'll have guys today who'll explain all of this today. So we're at an auction here in Cape Town, an NFT, non-fungible token auction here in Cape Town, perhaps even the first in the country. So welcome to it. We're going to have that conversation, all things crypto, all things decentralized finance, and of course NFTs. What is this stuff and how can it help you, the ordinary South African, the faith, flag, family and freedom type South African, to secure your finances in an uncertain future like ours? Welcome to it. This is the BDL Show. Let's get that conversation going. So you understand the imperative, you understand why this is the economy of the future. But again, I keep saying the economy of the future, but really it's a here and now thing, and maybe exemplified by the fact that in the here and now, I'm sitting with Aaron and of course Adam, and we're about to have that conversation as the guys who founded, sorry guys, I always forget the Momint. There you go. I always say Momentum. I was like, no, wrong company. It'll get there eventually, likely even bigger. But guys, you know, I'm sitting here next to two chaps who, when we first met, I could see the glint in you guys' eye insofar as a real passion behind what you're doing. And maybe that's the conversation I want to have tonight. You know, I don't want to get lost in the technical jargon of it all, except to say maybe in the initial part of this conversation, explain it to us for a moment. What is an NFT? But maybe begin with what's a cryptocurrency and what's decentralized finance?
Cool. Adam, you want to have a go?
Okay, so we'll go with cryptocurrency. So I think a cryptocurrency is basically a non-fiat currency, i.e. not dollars, not rands. And it's kind of digital, the same way that we have digital currency nowadays, but it's decentralized, meaning that it's not owned by any bank, and you can freely transfer that money, and the way it's organized is based on thousands of computers that anyone in the world can join that network. So it's decentralized and not with one entity, right? And then you get NFTs, and what an NFT is it's a bit of data. It's a file that you put onto a blockchain, right? And that allows you to basically say who owns a file on the internet. You know, if you have a file on your phone, how do the people around the world know that I own that file? The reason they know is because I create an NFT and I put it onto the blockchain.
Absolutely.
So decentralized finance, which is maybe a good point to put in there, is the whole concept of we want money that works the same as our money today, where you have a ledger of currency sent from one person to another, but instead of it being controlled by a government or a bank who can essentially print however much more they want, we have a blockchain which dictates how much money is in circulation, who has it, and where it's sent to. The blockchain is completely incorruptible and unhackable. And I think for especially South Africans and an economy that is rife with corruption, this is something that South Africans not should look at, but need to be looking at.
Absolutely. And you've hit the nail on the head, and that's exactly where I wanted to go, because I kept sort of saying in the intro, oh, this is the future, but really it's the here and now. And let's get into that here and now, because, you know, I'm sitting across two chaps here. You guys, if I remember the story, met at UCT. And for me, when I listened to your story, like, am I going to one day write the script for like, what's that Mark Zuckerberg movie? Not necessarily that, not that you guys are going to have that fight, but like just to say, two tech guys who you met in this early stage, but are doing something really, really big. But let's talk about that big thing that you guys are doing, Momint. Why is this NFT tech and really giving it that African flavor, why is it important? I sort of did a little intro and I said, this thing has the potential to benefit a billionaire like Rob Hersov, but also let's go down to that poor chap who lives in a shack on a sand dune in Cape Town. He also can potentially benefit from this. Guys, give us that sense of why this is important.
Yeah, so I think when it comes to NFTs and crypto in general, what decentralization does is it cuts out middlemen, right? And the middlemen are generally the rich people that own and have pretty much all the assets already that kind of dictate how the world kind of runs, right? And with decentralization, that's now put into the power of the people. So I think in South Africa, someone can be in the township, can get a bit of cryptocurrency, it can go up in value. There's no bank involved. There's no one, they don't even have to tell anyone. Yes, maybe our government's making one or two bad choices with how they're dealing with cryptocurrency and actually not empowering our people. But I think that's where it's going to be. It's going to actually help the individuals and cut out as many people as possible taking money from people that don't actually have it.
Absolutely. And even as Adam says that, Aaron, there was a point you made when we spoke, when we first met, and you're saying, actually, it's very well suited for the African market, period.
100%.
Because it doesn't need that established infrastructure, which often is sometimes in the hands of an oligopoly or, an elite, so to speak. It says no. As the name suggests, it decentralizes everything and places it in the hands of the ordinary individual. But again, let's drill deeper into this, guys. I'm sorry if I sound a little pedantic here, but there's
You're getting me right.
Can I give you a great example?
Yeah.
So, for example, someone, let's say in a township, who can create art, that can get access to, say, a phone to take a picture, can take a picture of their artwork that is amazing, has an incredible story, and sell it across the world in Germany without a middleman.
Exactly.
That has never been possible before. And generally in South Africa, you have to go to a gallery, you have to list it there. They take a 45% cut. There's too many barriers. You can be literally in a shack, take a photo, and it goes and it gets sold anywhere in the world. That's insane.
Absolutely.
And talk about royalties as well. So not only do they sell this artwork once off to anybody all around the world, so it could be a buyer no matter where they are in the world, but also royalties are built into the blockchain. So we're no longer reliant on an SABC or some media house to collect your royalties on your behalf. It is written in code. Nobody can take your royalties away from you. Your royalties get paid to you because you are the original creator in perpetuity, forever. Full stop.
There's two elements to this, and which I think will cap up the conversation, but we'll get to the nub of this. That first element is the idea that actually you're in control. You, the individual, are in control, and the asset or the product or the content is protected. So it's protected insofar as maybe IP in the first instance, but let's go beyond that. It's also protected in terms of your income from the state. There are people who I'd argue here in South Africa, in other failed countries like Venezuela, who might look at you two chaps and go, finally, someone who gives me an avenue to produce something, make an income, and know that it's safe from a grubby, greedy politician's hand. Am I overreading this, or is this exactly what it can do?
Not at all. This is exactly what it can do. Can I paint to you a picture that sounds utopian or sounds out there, but it's so close, it's so tangible, and we're really there because of this technology. So one of the things that you said is why Africa specifically. Africa now has the opportunity to leapfrog the first world economies, right? Because we can identify this technology, which the first world isn't blind to, right? Silicon Valley is investing billions into NFT technology, Web3, and cryptocurrencies. We can look at that and go, oh, well, some of our countries haven't even built fiber lines. They haven't even got cell towers. We don't have this access. Well, let's not even do that. Let's skip that step. Let's leapfrog the rest of the world, not just the term. Let's actually talk about real tangible ways in which we can do it. Let's use blockchain technology to give people title deeds that they have ownership of, ID documents that are truly theirs. So the world that I sort of envision and subscribe to, and this is the world that the crypto community is really passionate about, is one where governments are not the ones in power. Governments are service providers, and they have to provide good roads, good electricity, good policing to attract people to live in that country, because all of your assets and all of your currency lives on the blockchain, and you're free to move wherever you want. You can go wherever you want. No one's going to come chasing you and saying, oh, give us our cut. Oh, you can't take more than R1,000,000 out of the country. Oh, you can't leave without a visa. That's not the world that we're going to live in the future. In the future, people will look back and go, wow, were we really, in fact, slaves to the government? Do we just listen to everything they said blindly? And because we grew up that way, we didn't question the system, you know?
Guys, and you'll excuse me because this is where I get really excited and quite because you're hitting all the keywords here. The idea of freedom, the idea of empowering that ordinary chap, you know, and bypassing, you know, barriers, bypassing people who often see themselves as nothing more than a red tape distributor, you know. As a final thought, talk to me about this company, because, you know, we began the conversation with a very broad definition of, I keep saying CRT, NFTs, DeFi, and really cryptocurrencies. But you guys have actually developed an app that simplifies this, that puts it into the hands of a chap who doesn't have to care about whether, you know, they understand this down to a fine T. Talk to me about this app. How do we get it, and the future of this firm and this application, really?
So you said it exactly. We're trying to make it dead simple. Literally, if you want to post or create an NFT, it's as simple as just going into like an Instagram-like app, which is like ours, and posting. That's simple. So you need an email address, and that's pretty much it. You can sign it, go to https moment.so, and yeah, there we go.
Excellent.
That's it.
Excellent.
That's Momint, MOMINT, because you mint assets onto the blockchain. That's the terminology that they use. Yeah.
I like it. Guys, thank you very much. And again, guys, actually, there's one more question. Sorry, because again, for me, this is such an exciting application. The app itself, is it currently available to South Africans? Where can they actually get it? Sorry, besides the website, can they get it on the usual?
There's two places. You can get it on the app stores, or you can download it as a web app. So it's like the new revelation of apps. I'm not going to go into it. It's very technical, but it's really easy. Just go to our website and you'll find it. So.
Absolutely. And on that note, fellas, thank you very much. Super appreciated. And you heard it. I mean, you heard it yourselves. I mean, I've sort of alluded to this on my social media, that there'll be this exciting conversation around something which I myself will be a part of and hopefully get involved in and learn a lot more. What are your thoughts? You let me know what you think about this. But before any of that, stay tuned. We're going to keep the conversation going. You're watching the Big Daddy Liberty Show. Guys, welcome to it. You've just probably understood now, or you have a better understanding of what NFTs, decentralized finance, and cryptocurrency are. But again, there's always people behind this stuff, right? The people who have to write the code and, you know, basically program things so that you and I can enjoy it in that interface that the founders spoke about, right? The easy interface for you and I. So the guy behind all of that coding is standing with me right now, Ulwazi Vubulwazi. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Big Daddy Liberty Show. Let me begin here. You are the senior programmer at
Momint.
At Momint, sorry. Let me know, or give me a sense of your day-to-day duties, because I'm sure there's someone watching now thinking, senior programmer, does he put programs on TV? Or what's that all about?
Oh, okay, cool. So I'm just going to put it like in lame English so that everyone understands. So basically, my task is easy but not easy. So my day-to-day is just coming in, making sure that everyone can access the apps on the stores, which is not an easy job. So you have to be patient with Apple. They can be hard on you. So what I do is basically I just make sure that the database is working fine, all the system, the servers are running, and then I write the back-end code so that when you sign up on the app, we actually save your information on the database. And then I actually make sure that the apps look good and is faster. You don't want to click and then something starts loading forever. Obviously, you're going to just leave that app. So I have to make sure that the app is up to date, it's working fast, and there are no errors. There's nothing that's breaking.
Razi, even as you say this, you're talking about an industry, a sector, which in this country, unfortunately, because of our past, but really our present, bad policy today, education policy, we're not seeing enough young people enter that digital space, whether they're programmers, coding, and all those goods. What got you into this, and why did you come to a company like this one?
So to be honest with you, I didn't want to do IT at all. I didn't like IT. So for me, IT was like fixing computers, basically. But then I was like, I got to varsity back in Durban. I was like, okay, I only got accepted into IT. I wanted to do civil engineering, but now here I am. I'm doing IT. And fuck, I'm loving it. And then like I was passing, like my skills on software engineering and development was high. So I was like, no, maybe I'm actually destined to do this thing. So I was like, okay, I jumped in. Luckily, I was lucky. And then my first company that I joined was a very big company. But then I had to leave them after 3 years, 4 years to join Momint. There were 3 guys, but they were very passionate.
I want to come in here very briefly because I think your story is an important one. Yeah. And I heard you mentioning Durban. Are you from Durban?
I'm originally from Mpumalanga.
Okay.
So I grew up in Mpumalanga, but then I studied and then I spent a lot of time in Mpumalanga, in Durban. So, yeah.
But maybe paint the picture for me then when you join a company like this one, Momint, and you now have a very tangible responsibility of programming things which are, I mean, we're talking off air now that they represent the future, about cryptocurrency, decentralized finance, non-fungible tokens, but no, they represent the now. And there is a critical shortage of guys like you who can do the coding, the programming, and the like. The challenge for you when you work on a project like this one, do you enjoy it?
I love it. I love it. I stay up all night working on Momint, making sure that the platform is looking cool. So for me, joining the guys, it was a bigger step for me because I had to leave like a company with 500 plus employees to join 4 guys. But then I got here, we were like, okay, guys, let's do this thing. This is the current, this is the future. And then I was like, yeah, I'm on it. And then we started coding, we didn't sleep, making sure the platform is like working fine. In 2 months' time, we had like 4,000 users on our platform. We were like, okay, this thing is working. So I think it goes with passion and loving what you do. That's why I think I'm going to be at Momint. I don't know for how long, but I'm actually staying.
There you go. Maybe a final question, because I want to bring in the broader conversation for a moment, which is, a lot of people aren't sure about this stuff, non-fungible tokens and decentralized finance. Talk to me about the importance of it for someone who is just an ordinary South African. I download this app. What can this app do for me? Why is it important now?
Okay, so people, when they think of NFTs, they're just thinking of just content. It's not just content. It's actually owning the physical item, but a digital one. Which sometimes you can be like, you can own this Travis Scott limited edition, the physical one, and then you can also own the digital one, which someone cannot just come and take a picture of it. You can sue them. You can do anything. We've got their private keys locked somewhere. So we know this person owns this content. So, like, I don't know if you guys are following like the real NFT world. Like, there was a guy that sold content for 65 million rands.
Whoa.
That's just a digital thing. Whoa. So you see that actually the space is actually drifting towards NFTs and cryptocurrencies. So yeah, I think this is gonna be the next big thing, basically.
So maybe in short, the future of securing property rights. In other words, my ability to say I own this thing, I get to decide how I can use it, and also to protect it from government at times. Because remember, sometimes when you own something, government looks at it, how about I get my slice or that? But the future of securing your property rights is here in NFTs, crypto, and decentralized finance.
It's locked. It's locked in a blockchain. No one can access it. You only know your private keys. We know your private keys, but we cannot do anything with, about it, because we've got like terms and conditions, very strict terms and conditions about it. So if you own content, it's yours. It belongs to you. No one can ever steal it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's the message a lot of my viewers will appreciate. Thank you, Budwami. And you heard it for yourself. It has real world applications in a here and now basis. And it's definitely on the securing of private property rights. All right, so you've heard the story. You now understand what NFTs are. You understand why they're important insofar as protecting property rights, my ability to say, this is mine, and I get to decide what I do with it. And that's important in a country like ours, when you have a political and predatory political elite who are basically trying to confiscate people's stuff, whether it's land or whatever the case may be. Property rights is central to why I'm here tonight. And NFTs represent something of allowing people into the future to defend exactly that. But let me not weigh this conversation too much on that particular point. I'm actually standing with Tertius van Dijk, who is a artist and
Surrealist artist.
a surrealist
An
artist.
I basically specialize in surrealism, and that's what I do.
I'm sure someone's watching this and wondering, what is surreal art? We can see the artwork in the background,
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful.
Well, if you look at this picture, it's beautiful. You can see what it is, but you can't really make sense of it. You'll think to yourself, what is it? So basically, it's realism, but with a twist. So you can make your own conclusion. Every person has a different opinion of the painting because it does something different for every person. So that's what surrealism is. It's surreal. It looks real, but you can make your own conclusion.
Maybe let's speak to that particular point, because I think for me, I was fascinated at the fact that, as an artist, as a South African artist, you're one of the first, I would argue, who's adopting NFT as a method, a means by which to get your art out and secure it, of course, in terms of your exhibiting it and deciding where it is or who it's sold to, etc., etc. Why was this important for you to hop onto this?
Well, not to bring up negative things, but I mean, with the COVID, the galleries, I mean, they're all struggling. So, I mean, overseas clients aren't available. I mean, they don't come now, they're available. But, so we had to go and think of ways to try and, make an income, to survive as artists. I mean, it hasn't been easy, but it's been a learning curve. And I think if it wasn't for the COVID, we would never have gone this way. So I'm very happy that I'm going this way because I love doing it. I just love the digital art format. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, you've just had the auction inside there. How did it go? Are you a happy camper?
Absolutely. Yeah, because I mean, a lot of the proceeds go to my charity of choice, which is Ladles of Love. You guys would probably know that, and it's all about helping people and paying it forward, and just it is a new format of art, and it's absolutely a new way to go. I don't think I will paint anytime soon with canvas, because I'm completely hooked. I'm completely hooked on this.
Tertius, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Super appreciate that.
Pleasure.
Again, it's showcasing South Africans who are doing some really amazing stuff. Guys who, as Tertius mentioned, went through a very tough time in this country. I think we sometimes forget that this lockdown crippled people like Tertius, the ordinary South African, the guy who just gets on with their passion, whether it's painting or producing metal works or shoes. These are people who were the forgotten and who are crushed by this lockdown. And if this NFT method, this new digital or definance way of doing things offers them a means of making an income, I'll support it. All right, there you have it. A interesting evening where you met, again, people who are working with that 21st century digital economy, one which is already integrating in the here and now. I keep talking about this being the future of this, the future of that. No, it's the now. It's the here and now. There are entrepreneurs right now, if you can just quickly pan that way, who are packing up their shoes. You probably see a segment of the auction, which went well for them. But again, it's the entrepreneur in the here and now who's leveraging off of the cryptocurrency, decentralized finance, and really the non-fungible token world, the NFT world, which is launching here in Cape Town. So I brought you that first here on the BDL Show. And you got to see exactly who these Africans are who are doing really interesting and big things which will protect them and their assets and their property from the state. I keep saying this, this is the future of things. This is the now of things. So with that being said, what do you think about this? Are you a content producer, someone who thinks can benefit from something like this? Maybe you're that kind of individual. Make sure you go online, and download that app. I'll just put the information here on screen, how you can get that app. And you can also get involved in this new and very interesting world. I'll be doing that. I'll see how I can benefit from this, because this is, I keep saying the future, but it is the now. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. This has been another episode of the Big Daddy Liberty Show. I will see you this Sunday for Liberty and Friends. Might even pick up this conversation in that context then, especially because today happened when the finance minister spoke in the House. So we'll unpack that and many more issues on the BDL Show as usual. With that being said, a reminder, as I always do at the end of every show, actually, before I do that, a reminder, that you can support the show. All that information is in the descriptor of the video. With that being said, remember, never trust a commie.